Hey, what's up guys? Craig here for the Tropical Tribe, a community of people that have one goal, to grow paradise. And in this week's video, I'm going to talk about how I heat my greenhouse. I did a video on how I bubble wrap the greenhouse to keep it warm and insulated through the cold winter months to protect all of my precious babies. But in this video, I'm going to show you my basic heating setup with a few smart touches, with a bit of Bluetooth and a bit of Wi-Fi control, so that I have more control over my greenhouse, and it's part of my ongoing setup to make this greenhouse as self-sustained as possible. So we'll start first by taking a look at the heater itself. I was kindly bought this for a birthday present by my mum because she knew that I was going to need it in the cold winter months. It's a 2 kilowatt heater, so it's one of the lower powered ones and more energy efficient because I do not want to spend a fortune heating my greenhouse. It's small and it's plugged into the mains. It's got two settings here. You've got the option with this dial to turn it to fan and one heating element, or fan and two heating elements. And I usually leave it on the one heating element because, as I said, I'm tight and I don't want to spend a fortune. And then here is a basic thermostatic dial. Now, this is where you set the temperature that your heating elements will turn off. The fan will keep going and it'll keep the air circulating around the greenhouse, which is great. That helps to prevent rot. But it will turn the heater off. Now, all it's got is this minimum and maximum, which is annoying. So many things have this. But if you come into your greenhouse and you set it up and look at the temperature, so say I want it to cut off at 17 degrees, you can turn the dial and you will hear a slight dink as it cuts off or cuts on. And you know that at that point then will be 16.9 degrees, or 17, we'll round it up. And you can mark that that's 17 degrees. You just have to sort of combine it with the thermometer that you've got in your greenhouse. Of course, you can buy thermostatic digital heaters, but I'm doing this on a budget. So combining this with that is a way to see where the temperature marks actually are on the dial. And by all means, you can write it on or put stickers so that you can remember that going forwards. This little gizmo is a basic maximum and minimum temperature thermometer with humidity as well. And it's important to measure humidity in your greenhouse because in the summer you want to maintain that high humidity so that your plants don't transpire too much water and start wilting. And now I don't want the humidity to be too high because if it's constantly wet and soggy in here, the plants are going to start rotting. And it's great because at night time I can see what the coldest temperatures have been, and this was 7.5 this morning because I opened the doors to let the air circulate, and you can see how hot it's getting because the bubble wrap is doing its job, which is great. I'll put a link in the description to one of these. They are really, really great tools just for keeping track of the conditions in the environment inside your greenhouse. But the first bit of Bluetooth smart wizardry comes into play with this gizmo, which I featured in a video before, and it's just a Bluetooth version of this, so that when I'm inside I can see what temperature the greenhouse is and how humid it is. And the app also plots over the past, I think it's 24 hours, so you can see how low it drops at night, how hot it's getting in the daytime, so that you can sort of plan ahead on how to keep your greenhouse kind of the right environment throughout the 24-hour cycle. This one's Bluetooth, so it doesn't connect over Wi-Fi, so I need to be at home to be able to see this. A Wi-Fi one of these is what I'm going to ask Santa for, and we'll see what happens. This plug, however, is Wi-Fi enabled, which makes it a smart plug. And I've got this linked to my normal waterproof outdoor plug, and this is water resistant, so it's fine for a greenhouse. And I can switch this on and off each side individually from my phone. So when I'm at work and the sun comes out and I know my greenhouse is going to be heating up, I can turn this off, which will turn off my heater, and I know that I don't need to worry about the greenhouse. When I combine that with a smart thermostat, or thermometer, sorry, I'm going to be able to see the result and I'll know that it's worked. And if it hasn't worked or it's too cold, a smart thermometer will mean that I can then connect to this and say it's too cold, I'm going to turn it back on. Forgive me, I'm aware that this video veers away from tropical and exotic plants, but keeping them warm and protected in winter is part of it. Now, for the first 3 years I was growing this garden and sharing these videos, I didn't have a greenhouse. I'd fleece plants, I'd put them on windowsills. So there are a million ways that you can do this without investing in a greenhouse. You don't have to have all of this. But if you do have a greenhouse, it's a good idea to heat it, because if you've got this environment, why not make it perfect for your tropical and exotic plants? Now, this is just part of my process of making this a smart Wi-Fi connected greenhouse on a budget. And when I've completed this, I'm going to do a whole video summarizing the setup and showing you how you can do it on yours. But until then, this is my heating setup, and loads of you have asked me to share it, so there you go. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, hit subscribe. And remember, the goal of the Tropical Tribe is just to grow paradise. See you all in next week's video.